Okay, so as per the discussion in the last lab session, we are completed with the activity and the environment portion of your AEIOU sheet, right? Now moving on to the interaction portion, object and users portion. But before that, any one student, one or two student, illustrate what you have written in your activity and your environment portion. Have you made the sheet? Then one of the person, all of you just keep that sheet over your desk. And anyone from the online student, anyone just illustrate what you have written over there so that if there is any change, I can inform you regarding the change.
Ma'am, from our team, two members are offline, Paras and Nirmal, so I think they can illustrate.
Okay. Other students?
And from my team, Archana and Prachi also there.
Okay.
Ma'am, from my team, Rahul Mishra and Sunny is offline.
Okay. Just
Yes,
message
ma'am.
me
From my
from.
team, Palna and Gauranga are there.
Okay. Other?
Ma'am, from my team, Deep is there.
Deep. Who is Deep? Next.
From my team, Drashti is there.
Drashti. Okay, one more thing. Anyone whose team registration is not yet approved? Keep it. Keep it just. That you have to write by pen, not by sticky note. So just keep it for a while. Just, sorry for this. Okay, just keep it over your desk. Till then, I will explain the interaction, objects, and the users. Interaction is okay. So moving on to the interaction, I hope my screen is visible to all.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now in the interaction, generally whatever the projects we have chosen, that are all a field type of projects. Either it is a hospital, either it is the hostel, or it is the library management. Each of the projects are something related to field. They are having the multiple users. So interaction is whenever you go on the field, you have to think that you are talking to the current users of that application. If I am talking about the library management system, then You have to think that you are talking to the students who are using that application. And you need to ask them, what are your problems? What is the good side of the application? What is the problems? What are the bugs in the application? And what new thing you want? That is, you have to interact with your users. When you are having in the interactions, you need to write three things. The three things are elements, features, and some of the special features of it. Means this kind of application, whatever the current application they are using, that will be having some elements in it. Means all the functionalities that are said to be the elements. Special feature means which is the best feature of that application, and which features you want to add, which features you find it as a problematic, that features you want to add, that should be in the feature section. Then the next is general impression. What was the general impression for the first time when you used the application? That you need to write. And third is some of the scenes you need to describe while having the interaction with that person. Okay, that one thing you can add in the user portion. You can find out some photo and you can add it into the user portion. Just stick that photo in the user portion, that is okay. Right? In AEIOU, the last is users. So you can find out some photo of it and stick it in that users portion. Now, moving on to the object. In the objects thing, you just need to mention what are the key objects that are being used for that application. Means it is one of the thing is mobile that we need for using that application. So you need to mention the objects that are used to make that application work. And whatever you have seen, whenever you have visited the field, you don't, if you wish, you can go to see the domain. Means whatever you have selected, either it is a hospital management, library management, or everything, then whenever you have taken the field visit, you can check it out that which of the objects they have used, that you can mention in the object portion. And regarding the users, who are the users that you have to mention? Who will be the users of your application? Just that much thing you have to mention in the users portion. So this is your complete AEIOU sheet. Any doubts till now? Anyone? Okay. I have shared this PPT to Paras. Sorry, this PDF. Yes? So you shared to everyone. So all of you take the reference from this PDF and make your AEIOU sheet. Okay? Okay, so now one more doubt. I was being asked that how many sheets you need to make. So the sheets are mentioned as this: AEIOU sheet, second is mind mapping, third is empathy, fourth is ideation, fifth is the product development canvas. These 5 sheets you need to make. Ideation canvas, PDC, IDC, empathy mind map. Sorry? Okay. So in today's lab session, you are going to complete AEIOU sheet totally. You can start discussing with your group mates. Now, moving towards the empathy canvas also. In the empathy canvas, this will be something, your empathy canvas sheet. Something of this type. Users and the stakeholders. Stakeholders, anybody who knows stakeholders, what is stakeholders? Stakeholders are those persons for whom you are making this application. And users are who are going to use it. They both are different. The stakeholder is the company and the user is the individual users, right? The us who are using the application. So, in the storyboarding, first of all in the empathy canvas, activity. What activity you have done over the field? You need to think that you visited that place and whatever the activity you have done over there, means you asked something about what are the good things about over there, what are the problems they are facing, that everything whatever you have written in this activity sheet, in the activity box, that all the points you need to elaborate and write it over here in the activity. Next is storyboarding, where you are going to write down observation. What happy observation you have seen? A story regarding some observation which made you happy when you visited the field. Means if it is in hospital management, then a happy story could be regarding the patient, that some patient emergency came and the doctor helped keeping everything aside. So some kind of story you need to form about your domain only. If it is library management, if it is the room expense management, if it is the security services, then what happiness did you found out when you visited any of the security service provider and its user? If I'm talking about the security services, it means that one happy story in the connection of the provider and the user who are feeling happy with that security services. Means there should be some story that some unknown person came and that security service worked very well, or else you can say some of the threats were there, or else some of the persons came and took the vehicle or anything, and due to that security services which they used, they got that thing. They could complain, they could identify that person. So that kind of a story you need to imagine, and please brainstorm, do brainstorming over here. No typical stories I need. That should be the perfect imagination. And think that you are actually visiting that place while writing this. Next is a sad story. A sad story is, now this is what we want. If we want to make any of a new innovation, what we need to find out is a problem. And we need to focus on that problem only. So you need to find out the bug, that this was the bug in the application, that's why the user was sad about it. You need to focus or empathize on that bug only and write down the sad story. If it is the hospital management, the person didn't got the room and the oxygen, so it was the reason for the death of that person. So this is what the sad story, right? And even you can even say that there was one room empty over there, but they didn't give it, and other hospitals we were not knowing that where the room is empty. So find out, the focus should be on our whatever we have decided to implement. That should be the focus in the sad story. Remember, you are doing the reverse engineering. First of all, you have found out the solution or the project that you are going to make. Then you are going to back to the research that what are the bugs in the current thing. So the reverse engineering is, first of all, finding the solution and then going towards the problem. So now our thing is to do the reverse engineering. In that reverse engineering, you are having the solution, so your focus should be on the problem. So in the sad story, you will pinpoint that problem which you are going to solve it. Is it clear to all? Any doubts in this? Online students?
No.
Is it fine if there are no zero stakeholders? So it is totally okay.
Ma'am, for the NGO, who will be the stakeholders?
For NGO, you can write the trustees who are investing in that. They are the stakeholders.
Like there is a website which is connecting NGOs and donors. So
No, you can just write in the stakeholders a simple sheet, that sticky note, and say it as donor as this or the trustees as the stakeholders. The thing is, who are investing in making that product, they are known as the stakeholder. जिसका भी इन्वेस्टमेंट है आपकी प्रोडक्ट बनाने में, that is the stakeholder.
okay.
Okay. Any other questions from any students? So your task is for today's lab, you need to complete your AEIOU sheet and your empathy canvas. And the discussion about the logbook. All of you have made your logbook, and is it here presently with you? Okay. And the online students also start making the AEIU, complete your AEIO sheet and start making your empathy canvas. Then one by one we'll be discussing each and everyone's AEIOU sheet and the sad story and the happy story. So I'm giving you the half an hour of time. Complete it, and then one by one everyone will say what they have written in their sheet. And yes,
Ma'am,
yes, Abhijit.
ma'am, do we make AEIO sheet separately? Means each student or only in
No, no.
one group?
It must be per group one sheet. Per group,
Okay.
not individual sheets. Now one more thing, one more instruction. All of you from the group, each and every person has to submit the AEIOU sheet. You need to make sheets per group, but for online submission, each and every student have to submit it. In the portal, each and every person have to submit it. And the reason I am saying for that, if you are not going to submit that AEIOU sheet individually, then the completion certificate will not be generated. Therefore, make sheets per group, but the submission should be from all four. Okay? And even you can verify it that after one person submit that AEIOU sheet, other students are able to submit or not. Other group members are able to submit or not. That you need to verify it, but after you submit that. Now, don't write in the sheet until and unless you verify from me. Until and unless you verify it by me. Otherwise, you need to change the sticky notes. And please, no paragraphs. I don't need paragraphs in the sheet. I just need a simple, yes, the points are enough. And even in the logbook also, no paragraphs are needed. Paragraphs only when you are writing the abstract about your domain or about your project. Now, one more thing. Can anyone say what is the difference between the domain and your project title? Domain and your project title. Submission should be done on the design engineering portal. Okay, if someone is doing a hospital management system, then the domain is the hospital. If NGO, then the domain is NGO. If any other things, then you need to find out what is its domain. So domain is the whole, we can say the whole ocean, and you are picking one part of it, and that is your project title. So remember this thing, that domain is the whole subject or an object on which you are making your project. So it is the whole ocean. You are selecting the one part of it or a one problem of it as your project title. So now start making it, and once you are done with it, we'll be discussing it group wise. And I am on a verge to complete. I'm in verge to complete AEIOU and empathy canvas today itself by this lab, and I'll be signing the logbooks of the students, those who are present over here. And if you are not having the logbook, one more instruction. Without my signature, no one is going to upload any of the sheet, any of the logbook page, anything. Without my signature or without my verification, it should not be uploaded. And for uploading, either upload JPG image or else be specific with it, means use some of the scanner like Adobe Scanner or something, so that it is clearly been seen what you have written in the sheet. So either upload the proper JPG or a PDF file, scanned PDF file. That the visibility should be there. If I want to read what is written in the sheet in the sticky note, then it should be visible to me, even from the portal also. So now, any questions, any doubts, any queries? So I'm giving you the time, do it, and then we'll be discussing it group wise. I'll be asking random person to share their groups, AEIOU sheet or an empathy canvas. Not specifically the only group leader has to specify it. I will ask randomly any of the team member from the project title that I will select. So everyone, be ready with your empathy canvas and AEIOU. Start making it right now. And if you have any doubts, just unmute yourself if I'm not replying to you or by seeing your message. Students, pay attention over here, the online students. In the empathy canvas and in the AEIOU sheet, keep the date of today. Whenever you will be making, that is fine, but keep the date of today. Nextly, in the domain title, you need to write down your project name. In the domain title, you need to write down your project name. In the group ID, you need to mention the group ID generated in the portal as your group number or something. That will be having that will be in the portal of a group leader. So find out your group ID and you have to write that over the sheet. So this many things should be there in the sheet. Okay, students, for a while, pay attention over here. Then you can continue with your work. In this sheet, you don't need to mention the features of your application or the product that you are going to make. You don't need to mention the features and everything of your application. No, you are going to write down the current scenario. In the interactions, you are going to write down your observations when you had an interaction with that user of current application. Right now, we are on the phase of observation, not the making phase. You need to think that you have not selected any project. Right now, you just need to finalize the problem. You think that it is zero. You don't have any problem in your mind. Problem statement is not cleared for you all. So make the sheet as your first step, as your observation part. No, do not directly go with the interaction by using your application. Then what you will do in the other things, other canvases? If you still have any doubts, just ask me, but do not do the mistake of writing about your project. You don't need to mention that you are going to make it. You need to find out problems and then you will be saying that I am going to make this and I am going to do this change further. So I hope you are clear. Those who have done that mistake, please change it. Students, let us do one activity. Describe the environment of the current Google Meet. And the offline student, describe the environment of the lab right now. The one good answer that I got about the environment is interactive. Next. Next.
Learning and teaching.
Yes, forum learning. Okay, so now you all of you can continue with your work. Yes, here you are also correct. But yes, it could not be said a friendly environment. This is not a that kind of session, but yes, and informative. Yes, very informative. You can say. Then on a a discussion should be there. So this is what you have to write in your environment sheet. That the and you don't need to mention the environment of weather. Come on, grow up. Yes, performing, doing some task. That is the environment. So do some of the brainstorming. Just don't write it as it is by seeing the word. The online students, if you are working over the project also, then also just for a while pay attention here. Now the confusion regarding your logbook. One of the student has sent me the video that from this video can we write down what we have to write into the logbook. So, first thing that you need to write down in the logbook, that is your project title, then your project name. Sorry, the project title and your project abstract you need to write. Abstract of at least 200 words. 200 words abstract you need to write down regarding your project. Third thing, on the first page, just mention your title and the abstract. On the next page, prior art search. Not directly the prior art search. First of all, whatever the activity sheet, whatever you are writing in the activity sheet and this AEIOU sheet, that you need to elaborate at that place. You are not going to write anything regarding your project. Not a single thing regarding your project. You are going to write down about the domain, about the field for whom you are making the project. If it is hospital management, then you need to write down about the hospitals, your observation about the hospital. Then you need to mention all the activities that you have seen over there. In the first thing, you need to mention the activity and the observations over there. Second page, elaborate your interactions with that person. Third page, objects. Mention each and every objects that you have observed there. Third, write down who are the users or who were working over there. Fourth, the features of there which are the available feature in the system, current system, not which you are going to make. You don't need to mention what you are going to do. Right now, you are just going to write about the things that are presently there. Means present situation and scenario you are going to write. Then the empathy canvas, whole empathy canvas you are going to mention. From that empathy canvas you are going to get your problem. At the end you are going to say that this is what we observed and this is the solution that we are going to make for this problem. So, in the logbook you don't need to mention whatever the activities you have done in the lab sessions. No, you don't have to mention that whatever the activities you have done in the lab sessions. Lab sessions are your informative session. I am just guiding you through it that what you have to do. So no activities should be mentioned. The next, the thing you are going to write in the logbook, that is a kind of role playing. Role playing means the empathy canvas. Where you are going, what is a role playing? That one of the team member from the group will be acting as a doctor for the hospital management system. Another person will be acting as a patient, another as that administrative person, and the group interactions between them and what are their work and everything. Then you will be coming to the point that what problem they are facing, and that problem will be the problem that you are going to give the solution. So, in that role playing, you are going to mention your happy and sad story. Now, are you getting at what you need to write in the logbook? It should not be about your project itself. Empathy canvas you need to submit by next week. Within the 2 days, you need to submit it to me over the Google Classroom. And then in the next week, you will be submitting towards in the GTU portal. Students, this is your ideation canvas. Take a correct print of it. Then this is your product development canvas. Your product development canvas will be having this many things in it. And this is your ideation canvas. Then okay, students. So all of you can give me your online students and the offline students, all of you can give me your attendance in the chat box. And the online students can leave the session. What? Okay, the online students can leave the session. Thank you, all of you. We will be meeting on the next week.